Have you ever been starved of affection or attention by someone you cared about? Left desperate, confused, and doubting yourself? What if this isn't just neglect, but a deliberate, manipulative weapon designed to fracture your sense of safety and pull you deeper into submission? Today, we expose the dark psychology of emotional withholding, a silent assault that destroys relationships and breaks spirits in the shadows. Emotional withholding is a quiet but devastating form of psychological manipulation most people fail to recognize until it's too late. Unlike overt abuse, it hides in the spaces between words, the cold shoulders, the refusals to share feelings or support. Take the chilling case of a woman trapped in a relationship where her partner stopped expressing any warmth or acknowledgement, leaving her isolated yet craving connection. A form of punishment wielded without saying a single harsh word. This emotional starvation can be more painful than physical abuse because it attacks our basic human need for belonging and validation. It's not just neglect, it's a strategic act designed to control, punish, and fracture emotional bonds. What makes emotional withholding so dangerous is how invisible it often is, easily disguised as simple busyness, moodiness, or a phase. Manipulators use it covertly to establish silent dominance, forcing victims to chase affection to an exhausting degree. This tactic thrives because society undervalues emotional expression, especially in men, providing a cloak of normalcy. Studies confirm emotional neglect in intimate relationships can lead to anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems, yet it remains one of the least reported and acknowledged forms of psychological abuse. The invisibility makes victims question their own perceptions. Am I overreacting? They wonder. Exactly the doubt manipulators depend on to keep the control intact. At its core, emotional withholding operates by exploiting attachment needs and uncertainty. When affection and responsiveness are unpredictably withheld, it triggers a survival anxiety wired deeply in the brain. Victims become hypervigilant, searching for connection signals that rarely come, which paradoxically heightens their emotional dependency on the manipulator. This dynamic is often compared to intermittent reinforcement, a powerful conditioning tactic found in addiction and cult psychology. Real-life examples include controlling partners who suddenly go cold after praise or affection, parents who use silent treatment as punishment, or leaders who deny emotional support to maintain loyalty through fear instead of respect. This method systematically erodes self-esteem and autonomy. And this is where the story takes a dark turn. Emotional withholding isn't confined to romantic relationships. Its reach extends into workplaces, families, and even political leadership. Corporate environments that weaponize emotional disconnection breed toxic cultures where employees feel unseen and expendable, reducing productivity and increasing burnout. Families plagued by emotional neglect create adult survivors who struggle with intimacy and trust. The political realm also exploits this tactic by leaders who use coldness and detachment to undermine opposition or silence dissent, all while maintaining a veneer of professionalism. The real damage is cumulative and slow-burning. Fractured trust, chronic loneliness, and a deep existential erosion of personal identity that often goes unspoken and untreated. But here's where it gets disturbing. Here's the disturbing reality. Emotional withholding leaves invisible scars that can last a lifetime. Victims often internalize blame or attention. Worse, they may unconsciously replicate this behavior. But awareness is the first step toward breaking the cycle. Recognizing this covert manipulation as abuse rather than neglect or personality quirks allows individuals to reclaim their emotional autonomy. Healing requires establishing boundaries, fostering self-compassion, and rebuilding trust slowly with safety. A broader cultural shift that honors emotional expression as vital human nourishment, not weakness. Recognizing emotional withholding starts with trusting your persistent coldness, affection that vanishes as punishment, or the painful silence after conflict. Resist the impulse to rationalize or blame yourself. Instead, Set clear boundaries to protect your emotional well-being and practice self-validation. Seek supportive relationships that provide consistent emotional responsiveness. For those stuck in these dynamics, therapy or support groups can be life-saving, offering tools to repair identity damaged by neglect. Ultimately, awareness combined with assertive action neutralizes the silent power of emotional withholding and rebuilds your sense of safety and connection. Emotional withholding is one of the most insidious of dark psychology, silent but devastating, fracturing the bonds we desperately need. You know, we're only just scratching the surface of how manipulators weaponize human needs. Next week, we're diving even deeper into how covert neglect morphs into psychological entrapment, trapping victims in cycles they can't easily escape. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss this important exploration.